Hey all, welcome back. This week we'll make the wildest sail and the strongest sustained winds and seas I've ever been in. All to take a break from Georgetown and to get some spearfishing in. After miss after miss after more misses, I finally start figuring out how to use a pole spear. We'll make a beautiful sail back to Georgetown, after which I'll go through the process of renewing my cruising permit and visa. Then I'll say goodbye to the wacky dude that's become my best friend over the last year or so. Lastly, after having stared at it for 2 months, I'll join some friends in hiking up a giant hill to Monument. So join me on this wonderful adventure, and don't forget to live your dream. So I'm Amy, a Midwestern Kansas girl, and this is my boat, Maritopia. After moving to Florida in 2020, buying a $5,000 Facebook Marketplace worn-out 1973 Pearson sailboat, and spending 2 years endlessly working on her, I quit my job and have started my solo sailing adventures with the goal to truly immerse myself into as many different cultures as possible. I hope you're able to enjoy the videos as much as I do living the experiences. As it's a protected marine habitation, you can't spearfish or even fish in Georgetown Harbor. So we're headed back north to an area where it is permitted. I left with plans to go elsewhere, but the winds and the seas being what they were, I ended up at Norman's Key. It seems that video never does the sea state justice, but these 6 to 8 foot waves were right on my starboard beam, making it pretty darn uncomfortable. On top of that, the winds were sustained in the mid to upper 20s, meaning the sea state wouldn't be subsiding anytime soon. I've been in bigger seas and stronger winds, but never together and never sustained. Every sail is its own unique experience, which I'm grateful to learn from. This passage was no different. We're going up to Rudder Key this morning, and it is rough as snot. We just had a big windstorm blow through. Yesterday, a couple days ago, for the last couple of days. So the seas are still calming down, and it's rough, but the winds are good. We've got 24 knots of wind. We're doing 7 knots, give or take. Maritopia is cutting through it perfectly fine. Got the full head sail out and 1 reef in the main. It's going to be hard to tell in the video, but these seas are wicked right now. 5 to 6 feet probably. The only good thing is that for the most part they're coming from the same direction, so they're not overly confused. This is without a doubt the highest sustained winds that I've been in. We're cruising at 7 knots. I did put a reef in the main as I was raising it, I put a reef in the main. And I thought about putting the second reef in, but I need to go outside of my comfort zone a little bit. If I'm gonna sail on open oceans, I need to start pushing myself a little bit. Oh boy, everything is everywhere. Even the sewing machine fell over. That's the first time it's ever fallen over. My autopilot was having a hard time keeping up. So I've actually got all 3 reefs in the main and 1 reef in the head sail. The winds are steady now at mid to upper 20s. The seas are still 5 to 6, maybe even 7 feet. With the seas being what they were, it was a bit tricky going through this cut. But as is always the case, once we went through the cut and made it to the leeward side of Rudder Key, the landmass immediately calmed the seas. The rough open ocean, and where we are going is behind that. So that'll help block all the wind and waves. As long as there's not too much swell, it should be super comfortable. Not sure how well it'll come through in the video, but I want to show the different colors of the Bahamian waters. It was still pretty early by the time we got our anchor set, so we wasted no time getting in the water. Come on, fish! Not sharks, fish. I'm not really sure what my deal is with using a pole spear, but I found it significantly harder than using a spear gun. But with spear guns being against the law in the Bahamas, I had no choice other than to figure it out. After countless misses this day, I was finally able to spear a queen triggerfish and a nice Nassau grouper. Fortunately for me, I didn't know ahead of time that triggerfish often attack and bite people, or I may have not even tried. But I ended up bagging 2 delicious fish. When you've just shot a fish, it's likely going to be bleeding, so it's very important to get it out of the water as quickly as you can before the blood starts attracting sharks. Look down! Look straight down! Grouper! Trout is considerably better with a pole than I am, but he didn't see it, so I made the shot. Thank goodness I got it, or he wouldn't have let me live it down. When you shoot fish without stoning them, they almost always swim into or under rocks, as this grouper did. Being completely out of breath myself, Trout went down and dug it out for me. Right here. Yes. A very good day spearfishing. I was only in the water for 26 minutes and got a queen trigger and a Nassau grouper. Great day! Yeah, all on a pole spear. Only being about 300 miles south and east of Florida, that night we were treated to what's become a normal sight while in the Bahamas. It's so neat to see these Starlink launches, the same product that has changed the entire livelihood of cruisers, and what's allowing me to upload these videos. The following day, while Trout and his visiting dad were close by on land, I went into some shallow waters to see if I couldn't get more fish. Where are you going? But once they got in their dinghy to go fish in deeper waters, I decided it was time for me to get out. I'm personally not okay with spearfishing alone. Not that I'm afraid of sharks, not at all. But things can happen when humans are underwater, and it's just a chance I'm not willing to take at this point. Well, the sun is just coming up and heading back to Georgetown. Should be a pretty quick little easy sail. Look at how beautiful that sunrise is. Phew! We're too close into the wind, so I've got the mainsail up all the way. It's helping us keep some balance, and when the wind is right, it's actually helping us. But I've got the motor on, just too close into the wind, so we're not able to really sail. But that's okay. The seas are pretty comfortable. There is Trout and his dad. Behind me. Ooh, we're cutting it close. But I do have full head and full main up. We're right on the limit of where we can sail. We're sailing though. Now back in Georgetown, I needed to get to land in order to renew my cruising permit and visa, which both expire the following day. So the gas station just got gas and diesel this morning, so it's popping. There's cars lined up for 10 deep. But I'm in town to renew my cruising permit, my visa. So I'm at the customs office. I was having some issues. He told me to come back in a half hour. So. Okay. Well, they're still having some issues with their click to clear program where you check your boat and yourself in and out. So the gas station's popping though. They just got gas this morning. The island was out. So the gas station is lined up, waiting to get fuel. So there's the dinghy dock, where you park your dinghy when you come to shore. Well, the grocery store was basically out of goods, and customs wasn't able to figure the issues out with their website, so I will come back later this afternoon. I'm back at customs, and they took my money, so must have gotten the cruising permit figured out. It's $500 to renew my cruising permit. Well, there's my updated extended cruising permit. It's good for a year this time. On to immigration. And now we're at immigration. So customs is for the cruising permit for the boat. Immigration is for the passport for me. I'm so used to not wearing shoes that I didn't even think about it. But they wouldn't serve me until I had some on. Fortunately, I found someone willing to let me borrow theirs for a few minutes. Well, I have shoes on now. Let's see what they say. I have shoes now.
Okay. Where are you from?
U.S. Well, we're good until June 1st. There's the original stamp, and here's the new one. Pretty stoked. I'm good to go. Let's get back to the boat. I have things to do. I'm sure gonna miss this guy who'd become my best friend throughout the last 18 or so months. Today is a pretty sad time as he's getting ready to leave the beauty of the Bahamas to head back to the States. Yeah, man! See you in Panama! Oh, Trout is off. He gone. He's headed north. I think his plans are to go to Maine, up in the Chesapeake and then further into Maine for the hurricane season. I'm getting ready to hike up to Monument. See what that is. So I'll take you along with me. Let's get after it.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
A plant here called the poison tree.
Don't wipe any of your personal parts with it.
When I first came to the Bahamas,
What is it, like poison
3
ivy?
years ago.
No, it's worse. It's a tree.
Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom and I didn't realize it was a poisonous plant, but I wiped my butt with it and it was like poison ivy on your butt.
Not on your butt, in your butt.
What one? Oh, I have no idea.
On our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all.
Here's a perfect shot that shows how great of protection you have when behind land. This was a pretty rough day on the open ocean, but only a quarter of a mile away behind land, it was calm and serene.
As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb.
We weren't able to find the correct trail that leads up to Monument, so we just went with it and made our own, which is what led us to this beautiful beach. But it's also what led us to climbing steep hills that weren't really made to be ascended, let alone in flip-flops.
Agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond a bigger scale, the world in hand.
We're lost.
Let's go, Mr. Eagle Scout. After wandering lost for an hour or so in what seemed like a jungle. Oh, what's that flat spot? Oh, there's the trail right there. Oh, that's definitely the... Oh, here's the main path that we should have been on to begin with.
Oh, Amy, I knew this was here all along. I just wanted to see if you could find it.
Oh, that looks more normal.
You guys are fired as tour guides. So there's the hurricane holes that are in Georgetown. I've never seen them before right now. And there's Maritopia. This is Elizabeth Harbor. Open ocean. And Elizabeth Harbor. So this is all Stocking Island. And then Georgetown is actually over on a different island. Pretty cool. There wasn't much to the monument, but it was a fun trek up with some new friends and great conversation. Now time to go down an even steeper side.
Great view, though. I'll tell you one thing, this beats working in the office.
Oh yeah, it does. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
It'll be Shauna.
We just came down that. Shauna's still up there. And it doesn't look tall until you came straight down.
And you can see a monkey too.
And with that, it was time to go have a few drinks. And after those few drinks, it was time to enjoy another absolutely stunning Bahamian sunset. If you'd like to stay up to date and follow along with the adventures, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. After climbing a mast to replace a friend's anchor light, I've got a super special treat for everyone next week as the Family Island Regatta comes to Georgetown. From tiny little sailboats barely bigger than a dinghy to the bigger ones that have masts extending 20 feet behind the stern, it was a non-stop party and without question my favorite few days in Georgetown.